If you've been wondering what's coming up for you over the next couple of months, no worries, my sea hearts. Let's see what the cards have to say. So, this is your tarot reading for April into May 2026 with me, Cesmina, here on Cesmina Tarot. This reading is for Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. As always, this is a collective reading, so take what resonates and leave the rest. So we're going to start with your love life. The next three cards look at different areas of your love life: new love, existing love, and no contact situations as well. So just pick whichever one applies to you. New love is first. This card looks at new connections, new people, and the potential for love in April and May for you. And if you want a deeper look into the next person coming into your life, you can also check out my You and Your Next Love readings on this channel. You have the Two of Pentacles. Okay, so the person coming in for you, Cancer. I feel like you've been trying to make room in your life for love. That's the first thing that's coming through. But as for this person who's coming in for you, the first thing I'm getting about them is that they're busy. They're not too busy for love, that's not what I'm saying. But they feel like the sort of person whose phone is always ringing, okay? Or always pinging, whichever one it is. So I think they have the sort of job where they need to be available, where they've always got people coming to them for things, for advice, or they have to like give the okay or the go ahead on things. They could be the one who the client goes to, or the customers. That would make sense. But I do think they have the sort of job where they're always on or they're in high demand. I do think it pays well, though, definitely. And I think it's to do with the amount of effort that the job takes. But they aren't so busy that they don't have room for love. If anything, I think they actually make a conscious effort to make room for that and to show up there. I think this is the sort of person who will send you like a lot of little voice notes during their lunch break or something like that. They do make an effort because they know how busy they are, and they do know that an effort has to be made there. It doesn't have to just be work either. This person, I think, juggles a lot in their life. So family, friends, work, and money. I do think it gets away from them sometimes. I do, but for the most part, they're pretty consistent. Like I said, they make an effort. They do try to be as present as they can. So it's possible that they've struggled to find someone who understands their responsibilities, that they have to be in a million places all at once. I'm hearing I do try, but sometimes I can't help it. I'm also hearing I'm a bit hard to live with. But what I find really interesting, what makes me think that this person is going to be quite a good fit for you, is that you've also been making room for love in your life. Maybe you've also been struggling to balance your love life among other things. Maybe you've also been struggling to find someone who would understand how much you work or how much you're needed in other areas of your life with family or friends. And Cancer, this person would definitely understand that. In fact, I see you two being willing to give each other a chance despite the lack of time that you two have and the busy lifestyles that you have, because you both understand how difficult it can be. So keep your eyes peeled for someone who's busy, someone who's thriving in their work and with their money, but not so much in their love life. That is where I see love coming in for you in April and May, Cancer. Let's move on though and get your next card. Now let's look at existing love. This card looks at romantic connections that are already in your life, someone you're dating, someone you're in a relationship with, or someone where feelings already exist. And if you want a deeper look into that connection, you can also check out my You and Them readings on this channel. You have the Knight of Wands. Okay, the Knight of Wands. So Cancer, your relationship, situationship, whatever you call it, is really exciting, right? But you don't really know what it is. So maybe you haven't labeled it yet. You don't actually know where you stand here. But I feel like you're kind of caught up in a whirlwind with this person. I think when you're with them or talking to them, texting them, you kind of forget that you don't actually know what this is. But I think once your time with them is over and you're lying in bed alone at night, you know, rereading your conversations, thinking back on your conversations, looking at your pictures of them, I think that's when those thoughts come, those what are we questions. So it's not a very predictable relationship. And I do think you like that, but it feels to me in April and May, you're craving a little stability here, a little bit of reassurance that you're more than this seems. You want to label this, I think, or at least have that conversation. And I don't think you've brought that. I don't think you've brought this up because so your person feels to me like they do like you. They do like this relationship. They love the excitement, just like you. But and they might even have said this to you. They don't want to be tied down. They don't want to feel like they're in a box or restricted. I do think that scares them. It could be an avoidant that you're dealing with here. So I feel like the connection between you is very unpredictable. I think you have times when you're talking all the time and then maybe they go a bit distant on you and maybe take a while to reply to you and you're like, what? I do see you being a little bit confused by that. And what's weird is I'm getting them overthinking when it comes to you, overthinking what they say to you, what they text. It's like they don't want to give you the wrong idea. But I think sometimes they get into the moment with you and they say things that feel like a lot more to you than casual. So it feels to me like in April and May, you're in like this in-between phase with your person where you don't think you're casual anymore because of the things they say, but you're not sure if it's turning into something more because they aren't communicating or committing. So I will wish you some luck there, Cancer, and send you some love too. But let's move on to your next card now. We're going to look at no contact now. This card looks at someone you're not currently speaking to, someone where communication has stopped, or someone where things have become a bit distant. And if you want a deeper look into this connection, especially where things could go from here, you can also check out my You and Your Ex readings on this channel. You have the Tower. Okay, the Tower as no contact. So they could actually be getting into contact quite suddenly too, but let me check before I promise you that. So Cancer, your no contact person, I feel like your relationship with them ended suddenly, really fast. It could have been kind of messy too. I just feel like it all fell apart really quick, or maybe that's just how your no contact person feels. Let me tap into their energy. Hold on a minute. So they still check on you. Have you seen them like on your profile views, or seen that they've viewed your posts or something? Because they do still check on you. And I don't think that they're very discreet about it. It doesn't feel like it. I think they start thinking about you and then they fall down a rabbit hole and then they act like emotionally instead of logically. And I think when they do like look back on your chats, when they do look up your socials and see how you look now, I think they go through your Instagram maybe back to when you were with them to sort of relive that time. But what's really standing out to me here is how quickly things ended between you. And I do think they were more confident when things ended between you. I do. I think that confidence has been lost now because they've tried to move on. They've tried to think about other things, get their mind on other areas of their life maybe, but they do still think about you. And that's because I don't think you had a clean ending here. I think it was quick and messy, and it just feels unfinished to me, and like there's more to say there. And I think that's why they feel like they can't move on. So I could see them getting back into contact because this isn't finished, this isn't done in their mind, and because they feel like they have more to say. And like I said, they do have moments where they act emotionally, where they use their heart instead of their head. So do be prepared for them to get into contact in April and May, Cancer. Do prepare yourself for that. But let's move on and get your next set of cards now. So now we're going to look at the rest of your life. The next 4 cards look at your family, your friendships, your work, and then your money. We're going to start with family. This card looks at your family relationships and what's going on in your family in April and May. You have the Page of Pentacles. All right. So it feels like something or someone needs extra attention, or like something needs improving in your family, Cancer. Let me see, how can I explain this energy? So it feels like someone in your family has been in their own world lately, or not as present as they could have been lately. And so in April and May, I see them showing up a bit more, making more of an effort at home and with the family. It feels like they're making up for lost time or something like that. They're making sure that the family know that they're back, that they're present again, that they're making an effort, and then like trying to make up for not being there as much as they could have been. And it might be a bit clumsy or awkward at first because they're like out of the loop. They haven't been there. They don't really know what's going on or what's been going on lately. So they need time to catch up, or it might actually knock their confidence. You know, they might even regret spending as much time away as they did because they feel a little bit disconnected now. I also see them trying to find like common interests, asking questions, really taking an interest in the family again, and like asking like what's been going on, to try and like get back to where they want to be or where they were before. Yeah, this there isn't really much more to say here. It's a pretty straightforward message, to be honest. Let's move on and get your next card. So the next card is your friendships, new and old, and what's happening within your social circle in April and May. You have the Hermit. Okay, so you're pulling back from your friends in April and May, Cancer. Why is that? So you're not cutting anyone off or anything, but you are taking a step back here. I feel like you're wanting to reply a little bit slower in April and May. You're giving a little less energy. You might even be waiting for them to come to you. So maybe this is about balance. Maybe you're trying to balance out your friendships. And this distance that you're putting between you, you feel like you need that. You need some separation from them. Some space to sort of clear your head and have some peace and quiet, maybe instead of drama and gossip. Or I'm also getting something about feeling misunderstood here. Like they can't relate to you, or like you can't relate to them. So maybe this space is to see if you've outgrown these friendships and whether it's time for new ones. Again, you're not cutting anyone off here, but you could be considering exploring some new places, finding some new people to hang around with. But for the most part in April and May, I do think you're preferring your own company. It's like nobody gets me better than me. So I think if you do meet any new friends in April and May, I could see you feeling a little bit protective of your energy, a bit cautious, a bit hesitant. Like, are you going to misunderstand me as well? It's that kind of energy towards your social circle in April and May. So I will send you some love if that's something that you're going through, Cancer, but we're going to move on. Let's get you another card. We're going to look at work now. This card looks at your job, your work environment, and what's going on in your working life in April and May. You have the Page of Cups. So the Page of Cups. So romance could be showing up here in your work life, Cancer. This could be a secret admirer maybe in your workplace, which is a little weird because we did see that the person coming in for you is going to be busy in your new love card. So that's a weird coincidence, right? Maybe they're busy at work. Maybe that's why maybe that's what the Two of Pentacles was trying to tell us. But anyway, if it's not that, this is you being a little bit distracted at work, okay? Instead of someone being a bit distracted with you at work. So maybe your job has become a bit run-of-the-mill, a bit boring maybe. Maybe you're so practiced at it now that it's like second nature to you. So what I'm getting here is that you're not really being challenged anymore at work, because I see you questioning whether or not your heart is still in this job, whether it's still something that you want to do. Because I'm seeing you daydreaming at work, like your attention isn't on your work. You're thinking about something else. So maybe you're considering a side hustle or some other kind of income, something that you would actually be 100% into. Don't get me wrong, you know, this isn't you quitting, this isn't you immediately beginning a new career path or anything. This is just you flirting with the idea. This is you dreaming, thinking, you know, if I didn't do this job, what would I want to do instead, you know? Maybe there was something that you wanted to go into before that you didn't, and maybe you're returning back to that, a dream, maybe a dream job. You're really using your imagination here, really exploring this thought and somehow managing to get your work done in the meantime. So some really good multitasking coming through here, Cancer. But that could also be a warning. So Cancer, don't get lost in your daydreams. Don't get so lost in them that you drop the ball at work, okay? I don't think you will, but just be aware of that, okay? That's a possibility. Let's move on and get your next card now. This card is money. This card looks at your financial situation in April and May, income, spending, overall stability. You have justice. Okay, so this is another card that makes sense with the new love card. Because in that card, we talked about you getting the rest of your life in order to make room for love in your life. But yeah, justice. This is you doing just that, getting your finances right. So I think you're going to be checking your balance a lot more in April and May than you usually do, Cancer. You're going to be very careful with your money. You're going to be pausing before spending. I'm getting something about you checking the prices on things as well and seeing if you can get a fairer price somewhere else for something. Or maybe just for things in general, putting money away. I'm getting something about a do not spend fund. And this is because you're getting your life in order and your money is one of your biggest focuses here. I think you've got an idea in mind for your life, like in a year or maybe a little further along down the line, and that you're trying to get all of your ducks in a row before then. You're thinking about the bigger picture now. So you're not being overly strict or anything, but you are being mindful with your money, starting those future funds that you've been putting off for the past few years or the past few months, however long it's been. Again, this is another card. There isn't really much more to say here. Let's move on and get you another one. All right, so based on everything we've just seen, we can already see where most of your energy is going, what's taking up your time, your focus, and your attention. So now let's take a look at how all of this is actually playing out for you. Get your current energy. So what's going on at the moment, Cancer? You have the sun. Wow, okay. So you're feeling lighter than you have been, Cancer. I think this is because you're finally getting your ducks in a row. You're starting to take control of your life. You're more on top of things than you have been. So maybe your life felt a little chaotic before. Maybe you procrastinated or put off making changes for a while. But I think now that you've taken the reins or you've started to do that, you feel more in control, and it's really made a difference to your overall well-being. But I do see here that you could be feeling a little bit pessimistic still. Maybe a bit like things are going a bit too well. That could even be why you looked up tarot reading in the first place. But yeah, there is this feeling of, is this too good to be true? How long am I going to have this control before something bad happens? I think it has something to do with the fact that you've procrastinated for a while, and now that you're making these changes, you're a little bit freaked out. But for the most part, you're like, I'm in control for once and I'm really enjoying it. You feel more relaxed and more open, which I think is making it easier for love to come into your life, or helping you enjoy the excitement of your relationship despite it being a little bit unstable. I think you're in a much better place now as well for when your no contact person gets back in touch. It's not going to have the same effect on you that it would have done in the past because you're more in control of yourself. I think it's making it easier for that family member who's been away for a while to reconnect with you. It's making you feel able to choose yourself over your friends, and maybe even allowing you to enjoy spending time alone too. With your work as well, you feel so stable right now that you feel able to dream, and you're taking your finances seriously because you know how much of an effect it has on your future. So you're in a really good place right now, but you are a little bit pessimistic. There is a little energy there of waiting for something to go wrong because things are going so well. Let's get you another card though and see how this is all changing for you in April. You have the 10 of Swords. Okay. The 10 of Swords. So this makes a lot of sense to me. I think, how do I explain this? I think while you're getting all of your ducks in a row, while you're taking control of your life, at first you're going to be skipping over a couple of things. And I think the reason you're doing that is because you like them the way they are. You don't want to change them. But as you move into April, I see you going back to these things and being like brutally honest with yourself. You know, do you still need these things in your life, or have they run their course? Are these things still helping you, or are they harming you? You know, if you're completely honest, should this still be in your life? Is this something that should be a part of your future? So I do think you're lying to yourself in some area of your life. So this makes me think of that no contact person getting back into contact with you. I think it may feel good when they do, but once you start talking again, maybe I feel like maybe you spent a lot of time wanting this person back, but when they do actually come back, you've moved on, and maybe you just hadn't realized because you were still holding on to the past. But once you start talking, you notice that that spark is gone, and it was just a bit hard for you to let that go. That's just an example. This energy is you moving into a more, it's really a more brutal energy with the things in your life. So making more room for your love life, maybe waiting for that family member to show up before you do, pulling back your energy from your friends to decide if those friendships are really still for you, exploring other career paths or jobs, getting your finances ready for that future, stopping unnecessary spending or subscriptions you don't use. Let me see, what else? Oh yeah, existing love as well. This could also be you deciding that you want something more than just fun and not tolerating inconsistency. Let's see how this is changing in May now. You have the Knight of Cups. Okay. The Knight of Cups. So this is you being able to really enjoy what's left in your life once you've cut out anything that you've outgrown. This is after you've been honest with yourself about what really needs your time and your energy. And so you've got much more energy to put into the things that really matter to you in May. So you're being more selective about what you let into your life, what gets your attention. And I don't think you're really entertaining anything that doesn't align with that. I think you're also feeling a lot more authentic. A lot less like you have to pause before thinking, you're retyping messages or rethinking things. I do think you have a lot more confidence in yourself because maybe you're spending a little less time with people who made you feel that way. I do think anything entering your life in May is going to have to prove to you that it deserves a place in your life, that it's not going to disturb your peace that you took a lot of time creating in April. So new love, that family member who's coming back after a time of not really being there for you, that no contact person, definitely. This is you being in that completely different place than you were the last time you spoke to them. What else? I think with your friendships, you're seeing who gives back to you. Instead of giving and giving and giving, hoping to get something back, you're holding back now and seeing who comes to you. You might actually start looking into a new way of making money as well, that side hustle that I mentioned. And as for the Knight of Wands in your existing love, your energy towards that is like, this is either enough for me, that you like it the way it is and it stays, or you need more and your person needs to step up and commit. And if they can't, then it might be time for you to pull your energy back there as well. So April and May are really all about you taking control, being brutal, and deciding what deserves your energy and what doesn't. I'm actually going to pull one more card for you. This is what you need to know right now. This card shows you what you should keep in mind as you move through April and May. You have the Ace of Swords, Cancer. This card, what you need to know right now is that you already know what needs to be in your life and what doesn't. What's helping you, what's harming you. You know that some things have been in your life a lot longer than they should have been. You know that some things you have kept out of comfort, not because you need them, but because you're used to them. And that it's time to cut some things out. And like I said, you have been procrastinating. You have been trying to wait some things out and see if they change, but they haven't. And now you really need to trust your own judgment, your logical brain, not your emotional one that wants to hold on to these things out of nostalgia or comfort. You need to trust your gut. You need to trust yourself when you don't feel that same excitement that you used to with things. Your intuition is right here. And now is the time to act on it. So I will wish you luck there, Cancer, because that is all that I see here. So I'm going to leave it there. I hope this gave you something to think about and I hope it helped you in some way. But for now, I will see you in my next reading. Take care.